we've been at the receiving end. We've been quiet. We've been numb. We've been silent enough, and to a point that a lot of things have gone wrong under our watch. And I believe that it has to come to an end at some point. It has to end at some point. What am I talking about? At some point, you may have heard of this kind of teachings where pastors, church leaders would claim cities, would claim regions, would claim towns. Pretoria is mine, Durban is mine, God has given me Cape Town, nobody will touch such and such township. It is mine, God has given it to me. And it made sense, really, when I first heard of this. It made sense when pastors and church leaders would claim cities and townships and towns. It made sense because they would then, merely what they were saying, or the message that I got there was, I will stand in the gap and intercede for the township. And as townships, we want that. We really would love to see more of that. As cities, when crime spikes, we look to church leaders, and when they avail themselves and take claim of the cities, some of us were at ease and we loved the idea, because it meant that they would begin to intercede for those cities. They would take leadership in those cities. They would begin to provide guidance in those cities, and there will be a source of strength for those cities, providing counsel to the government in those cities. And it was good, and it is still good. However, I've sensed something, and I was challenged in one area where now there would be pastors that mushroom in those cities and take advantage of our sisters. And we looked at the pastors that said, or the church leaders that claimed those cities, to say, your sheep are under siege. What are you going to do? There's this pastor that is taking advantage of these sisters, and there have been complaints, alarming complaints for that matter, and pastors didn't come forth to address such madness. There were pastors that made people drink petrol, famous. It made headlines, and pastors were silent. And people ate grass, pastors were silent. And there's a lot of challenges that the church is facing today. And most church leaders are silent. It concerns me when the shepherds are silent, when the wild animals are devouring the sheep. I'm reminded immediately of David, who says, as he was testifying before Saul, just before he took on Goliath, he says, look, I don't know much, but what I know is there was a bear that came and wanted to claim a sheep, and I was there, and I took hold of it and I tore it apart. There came a lion wanting to claim a lamb, and I was there, and I took the front seat and I confronted it, and I tore it apart. And he went on to mention wild, dangerous animals, and the fact that he didn't take a back seat, and the fact that he stood at the forefront and he charged towards these wild animals. And to me, it was leadership. To me, it was accountability. Now I'm looking at those that say they are called, and I'm not accusing you of anything, man of God, woman of God. All I'm saying is that we need to take a step back and we need to rectify some of this wrongdoing, and we need to reverse some of these things, and we need to then restore the name of the Lord, the dignity to the name of the Lord. And when David heard that Goliath was insulting the Israelites, he could have easily said, I am not a soldier. That is one. I'm not a soldier. And then two, I have no business there. I am only a shepherd, and God hasn't called me as yet. And then three, my father sent me to provide a site to my brothers and food. And I've seen what is happening. I have a report, and then I will go back to my father and report. Or even he could have said, let me inquire of the Lord and hear what the Lord says, right? But at that moment, David was grieved. Who is this uncircumcised Philistine who is insulting God like that, and the people of God, right? And then we need that kind of leadership. Somebody will say, who is this uncircumcised fella who is making my God's people drink petrol, eat grass, and in the name of the Lord, spraying doom on them in the name of the Lord? And if we claim that we didn't hear God instruct us to confront such, then I have a problem with that. When you are appointed a shepherd, it matters not where the sheep is. It matters not where this cause is happening. You are going to reach out and grab the enemy by the horns, and you're going to subject him to rules that God has given us, right? And I have a problem at the moment because I look around. Poverty is rife, and the children of the Lord, mainly in South Africa where I am, they're still not empowered with knowledge. They are not given knowledge that liberates their minds. They are not fed the gospel that empowers them to live a better life. However, they are given the gospel that is binding. It is full of rules. It is full of a list of don'ts and a list of do's, but in return there is no benefit for them. There is nothing at this moment, and I'm looking at the majority. Yes, there are a few of us, and don't get me wrong. I'm not challenging God's operation. I am a child of God. I fully understand that God has empowered us. However, we need to step up. We need to take accountability. We have subjected pastors to do a lot, and we have taken back seats. And I think it's about time we woke up. We woke up to liberate one another. We woke up to stand in the gap. We woke up to circulate information and knowledge. And I can tell you today, it is only through that we will see improvement in the church. We'll see the community beginning to respect the church. And I know we demand respect. Let me draw closer. I know we demand respect. We demand respect from the community, but do we really deserve that respect that we're demanding? Doing the things that we're doing in this time and age. We preach against certain things that we practice in the church. And I find it very difficult that a rational person would follow us, right? I see churches as camps, and people saying, come join my camp, and the other one says, join my camp, that other camp. And that is not how it should operate. The instruction is that go ye into the world and spread the gospel and preach the gospel. Not go and set up camps for yourselves, for your benefit, without really asking one question. How does my act benefit God? What I'm doing, how does it add value to his kingdom? And it is sad. It is very sad. And I want to challenge all brothers and sisters in the Lord that begin to want to see change, evident change, tangible change. It can be that we're preaching the gospel, but when we try and look at the last 6 months, there is no improvement in the communities where we operate. There is a problem there. There is a problem. Then we want people to blindly follow us. We should be able to go back and say, here's the evidence. We have knocked out crime from this percentage to that percentage. We have improved lives. We had this number of impoverished families, and now we have reduced that to that. We are taking care of one another. Lastly, let me look at something and let me address this. I have seen people that go to church. You know a neighbor that sits next to or that lives next to your house, but you don't bother help them in anything. You take offering to the church, and you're leaving a family that are looking up to you. Your neighbor. Your neighbor is hungry, and you leave them. Others, they insult their parents, and they take a shower and go to church immediately after that. And I want to challenge us. That is not the gospel of Christ. We need to ask ourselves, where did we miss it? All the chaos that is happening around the world, it seeks to remind us. Man-made, God-sent, whatever the case might be, doesn't matter. It seeks to remind us that we have missed it. And it is that time where we need to correct ourselves. We need to find our way back. We need to start being intentional with our acts. We need to look at the likes of King David and be inspired by what they did. We need to listen to the testimonies of Paul. And we need to, most importantly, follow Christ and look at how he challenged certain challenges in the community, how he confronted such. He didn't take it lying down. I don't understand why we would sit back and say, let it be. I don't understand that. Child of God, it's high time we woke up. It's a high time we applied ourselves. It's high time we reasoned our acts. We can't repeat the mistakes that our ancestors have made. We can't let history repeat itself. We can't blindly follow. We need to be very smart. When I look at the Bible and you read in the Bible, you realize that there are several instances where God said, find a smart man and put him in charge of this. Find a reasonable man and put him in charge of that. Are we smart? Are we wise? Would God really come now and say, we are smart, looking at the things that we do? We have said about our brothers and sisters that have drank petrol and have been doomed and ate grass and have been raped to some even extent. We have said perhaps they had a responsibility in all of that. And let me show you something, child of God. I've been in a place of lack. I just want to take desperation in a place of lack. And I say to you, you see, when you are hungry, hunger knows no boundaries. When you are hungry, it takes a lot. It takes God's grace for you to survive hunger. These are some of the things that cause desperation in the community. Some of the crimes, we have solution for those. And for some of the brothers in the Lord and sisters to say, it is in their own will that these people are acting desperate, then you haven't been at a point of lack. When you lack, when you are stricken by poverty, you will do anything. You will walk. If you are required to walk, you will do the most ridiculous thing, because all you want is just somebody to remove that pain from you. You will try everything within your reach to get poverty out, including eating grass. You're thinking, I haven't eaten anything. Grass might be the closest that I can eat. I don't condone it, but I'm saying, at times, these people have seen enough suffering. And if we claim to be of the Lord, we should have those solutions. Not pastors. Any person that claims to be of the Lord, ask yourself, what solution are you carrying for that community where God planted you? You need to be carrying a solution. And we're saying it is high time we saw those solutions. It is high time you rescued God from these lions, from these bears, from these leopards, from these jackals. Let's step out and let's make God proud. In Jesus' name, you are blessed.